Hey guys, Joel McSwaggin here, and welcome back to another WWW, also known as Who Would Win. And in this episode, we're going to be putting up another two Marvel heavy hitters. We're going to be putting up one of the best, or one of the strongest Spider-Man villains, Rhino. We're going to be putting him up against the unstoppable Juggernaut from an episode a little earlier ago. And then there will be another episode about Juggernaut later in the next week. But with that said, we'll worry about that when we get there. Lots of Juggernaut videos soon. So yeah, this is going to be a fair fight. No backup from anyone else. So no backup from Charles Xavier, or no backup from Spider-Man or anything like that. I doubt I'd get backup from there. But anyway, there's no really backup from anyone. Standard equipment and stuff are no base. They're just base forms, the one we think of when we think of them, and stuff like that. And standard equipment and everything as well. So with that said, let's get into this. Alexei Stayevich was a thug who worked for Eastern Bloc scientists. The scientists subjected him to a process which gave him an artificial skin covering, which granted him superhuman strength. After being empowered, Alexei Stayevich, sorry for that pronunciation, rebels against the agents who gave him his powers and destroys their laboratory. He subsequently hired to kidnap Colonel John Jameson in order to obtain extraterrestrial spores in which Jameson has been exposed during a space mission. Jameson is rescued and the Rhino is defeated by the superhero Spider-Man. The Rhino is imprisoned and kept there with sedation, but soon breaks out and continues to try to kidnap Jameson. Spider-Man uses a web imbued with a chemical developed by Kirk Connors to melt off his Rhino hide and then knocks him unconscious. After serving his entire prison term, the Rhino is approached by the same scientists with a more powerful and removable suit. The Rhino agrees to find and kidnap Bruce Banner for his knowledge of gamma radiation, and trains to fight Banner in his Hulk form. However, he finds himself hopelessly overpowered by the Hulk, who shrugs off his strongest blows, pummels him to the brink of death, and leaves him in a coma. The character is brought out of his coma by the leader months later. The leader plans to interrupt Banner's wedding to Betty Ross using a ray to transform into the Hulk and make him kill Ross. He revived the Rhino to protect him from the Hulk's inevitable desire for revenge. However, the Rhino betrays the leader by attacking Banner the moment he transforms. The Rhino is still unable to harm the seemingly invulnerable Hulk, and he turns on the leader after the leader accidentally shoots him. Rhino is caught in the explosion of the leader's ship and again left in a coma. Leader, who was paralyzed after a previous encounter with Hulk, finds and takes mental control of the still comatose body of Rhino and attacks Hulk. The battle eventually leads to an alien world where Leader abandons control of Rhino and flees. Bruce and an unconscious but now recovered Rhino travel back to Earth via a rocket. Mutagenic chemical and radiation treatments, including gamma-ray bombardment, proves Rhino with superhuman strength, heightened levels of speed and stamina, and a high degree of durability. The Rhino's superhuman speed allows him to run and or exercise at higher velocities, and especially over short distances. He frequently charges his opponents in this manner, enabling him to cause great harm to most enemies and the surrounding area. Rhino is notorious, however, for his lack of agility and slow reaction time. This makes it nearly impossible for him to change direction when running at such high speeds and causes him to miss his target and collide with a wrong object. The Rhino's enhanced muscularity is much more efficient than that of a normal human and generates considerably less fatigue toxin, during physical activity. At his peak, he can exert himself up physically for up to 24 hours before the build of fatigue toxins in his blood starts to impair him. The Rhino has some experience in hand-to-hand combat, though he is generally much more of a brawler. Even so, his extreme levels of strength, stamina, and resistance to injury make him a formidable opponent regardless of a foe's superior fighting skills. The Rhino possesses a thick polymer matte suit that resembles the physique of a rhinoceros and covers his entire body except for his face. The suit is highly resistant to damage and extreme temperatures, and is also equipped with two horns, designed to mimic the general shape and function of actual rhinoceros horns, capable of penetrating 2-inch plate steel. His first suit, much crude in overall design, was originally bound to his skin, and he was unable to remove it. This suit was eventually destroyed, and a second removable suit, more form-fitting in its design, was created by Justin Hammer. This suit was given to Rhino after he underwent additional gamma-ray treatments that further heightened his powers. The new suit was also enhanced designed to enhance some of his powers using gamma ray treatments. Without the suit, Rhino still possesses great superhuman strength and is highly resistant to confrontational physical injury, such as most high-caliber bullets, extreme temperatures, and impact forces. While wearing the suit, his strength is slightly increased, while his durability is enhanced to a much more significant degree. The suit also allows him to withstand high-caliber bullets, exposure to temperature extremes of cold and heat without his suit cracking or melting or his own bodily tissue suffering damage, falls from great heights, light anti-tank weaponry, explosive concussions, and potent acids without sustaining injury. If you have seen my last Juggernaut video, make sure to go to that one or you can just watch this one instead because it is pretty much the same thing. So I'll put a time now where you can go to the final verdict, but with that said, let's just get into this for the people that haven't seen that. Cain Marco was the son of Kurt Marco, who becomes Charles Xavier's stepfather when he marries Sharon Xavier after the death of her husband Brian, for which Kurt is partially responsible. Kurt Marco favors Charles and abuses his own son Cain. Cain resents Charles and bullies him frequently. Cain Marco and his stepbrother Charles serve in the US Army and are stationed in Korea. Marco finds a hidden temple dedicated to the entity Cyttorak. On entering, Marco finds and holds a huge ruby and reads the inscription on the stone aloud. Whoever touches this gem shall be granted the power of the crimson gem of Cyttorak. Henceforth, you who read these words shall become forevermore a human Juggernaut. The gem channels Cyttorak's power into Marco. The transformation causes a cave-in and the character is buried and presumably killed, not being heard from again until a sudden assault on the X-Men's quarters. Xavier recounts the Juggernaut's origin to the X-Men, and after shrugging off the mansion's defenses and brushing aside the X-Men, Marco is seen clearly in the final panel as he confronts Xavier. The X-Men regroup and attack, while Xavier summons Fantastic Four member, the Human Torch, to aid the mutants. The torch generates pulses of flame that essentially hypnotize the Juggernaut, distracting him long enough for Angel to remove his helmet, making Marco susceptible to a telepathic attack by Xavier. The Juggernaut returns, seeking revenge, and is delayed by 3 of the X-Men, while Cyclops and Marvel Girl, aided by the astral form of Mystic Doctor Strange, find and use another jewel of Cyttorak, which banishes the Juggernaut to the Crimson Cosmos, the home dimension of Cyttorak. When the Juggernaut reappears, the character has gained mystical abilities and briefly battles the Mystic Doctor Strange, before being banished to an alternate universe by the cosmic entity Eternity. When Cain Marco finds the gem of the mystical entity Cyttorak, he is empowered with magical energies and transformed into an immortal avatar for the entity in question. As the Juggernaut, Marco possesses superhuman strength, being capable of shattering mountains, lifting and using buildings as weapons, and extreme durability. Juggernaut is able to generate a mystical force field that grants him additional invulnerability to any physical attack when it is at its maximum. Even when the force field is temporarily absorbed by Thor's hammer, the Juggernaut's natural durability still proves to be great enough to withstand blows from Thor. The Juggernaut is described as physically unstoppable once in motion, and does not tire from physical activity and is able to survive without food, water, or oxygen. The Juggernaut heals quickly, as when he was stabbed through the eyes by Shatterstar, the wounds were healed almost immediately. It is possible for an opponent with sufficient physical or mystical strength of their own to turn the Juggernaut's unstoppable movement against him, by redirecting his motion so that he gets stranded in a position in which he has no escape. Both the Hulk and his son Scar have done this physically, and Thor has done it mystically with Mjolnir. The only character to have stopped Juggernaut while he was in motion as an act of pure strength was the Hulk while he was War, a horseman of apocalypse and empowered with celestial technology. When Marco gains complete access to the gem's powers during the Trion Saga, it increases his power 1,000-fold. Trion Juggernaut is capable of altering the size of matter, growing in size, tracking levitation, absorbing and projecting energy, increasing his own strength, and creating portals through space-time. The character is invulnerable to mental attacks, a weakness that have been exploited via the removal of his helmet, which normally protects him from such. The Juggernaut has circumvented this weakness on occasion by wearing a metal skull cap inside his main helmet. If Juggernaut loses his helmet, he can magically recreate it from available raw metals, as long as he possesses the full power of the gem. After Cyttorak's re-empowering of Cain Marco, his strength and durability were raised to higher levels than ever before, and his vulnerability to mental attacks was negated. And now on to the final verdict. Who would win in this battle. And this one actually was, I was on the other person's side for only a split second, and instantly I went to the other person's side. And that winner is Juggernaut. He is the obvious clear winner because of the fact, okay, so if they didn't have any durability or anything like that, Rhino would have a very huge chance. But considering that Juggernaut has immense strength and has even possibly been able to beat the Hulk, and he does have the chance to beat the Hulk, just fighting him 1-on-1, don't have any upgrades or anything like that, like the Hulk did in his fight, he could beat the Hulk. Rhino can't do that. He has got defeated by the Hulk multiple times, which gives him the edge clearly here. And his durability is incredibly high, and the force field that Juggernaut possesses is incredibly easy to be done. Rhino has also been defeated by Spider-Man, and in the 2 issues, 1963, Amazing Spider-Man 229 to 230, Juggernaut has proven to be quite a big threat to Spider-Man, as the Rhino is a big threat to Spider-Man himself, but the Juggernaut just simply is a bigger threat to Spider-Man himself. And it's even been a huge annoyance, and is able to withstand over 100,000 or 10,000 volts, I think it was, which is extremely impressive. That happens in that story arc. You should definitely go read it. And if that is the final verdict for this video. If you guys did like this video, make sure to drop a like, comment, and subscribe. And also share this video with your family and friends. Let them know about my channel and let them know who would win in this battle. And with all that said, I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.